A $15 minimum wage could have happened if these 8 Democrats, who are all multimillionaires, as far as we can tell, hadn't voted against it. Check it out, leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. You'll recall last week I pointed out that there were 8 Democrats who voted to, or 7 Democrats who voted with Joe Manchin to eliminate the $15 minimum wage from the coronavirus rescue package. Had that not been eliminated in the Senate by this vote, it's entirely possible that Vice President Harris could have simply ignored or overruled the finding of the Senate parliamentarian and said, you know, we're going to do this anyway. She had that power. It's been done before. Trent Lott did it back in 2001. No big deal. In fact, Trent Lott fired the parliamentarian and replaced him with somebody who was willing to go along with the reconciliation bill that they were working on back then, which I believe had to do with a giant tax cut. But we had 8 Democrats who voted against this, and now what has come out is the net worth of these 8 people who said that people who work a 40-hour week should continue to live in poverty. $15 an hour just squeaks you past the level of poverty if you're working 40 hours a week, right? It's $15,000 a year. Right now it's $750 an hour. That takes you, $15 an hour takes you to $30,000 a year. And that's just above the poverty level, which is in the mid to low 20s. But look at what these people are worth. This is mind-boggling. We don't know what Kyrsten Sinema is worth. And Joe Manchin's worth $7.5 million. These are from their Senate disclosure forms. But Maggie Hassan, the Democrat from New Hampshire, and Jeanne Shaheen, the Democrat from New Hampshire, they're both worth $3.5 million each. John Tester, the Democrat from Montana, he's worth $3.5 million. Tom Carper's worth $7.5 million. Joe Manchin's worth $7.5 million. Angus King, the independent from Maine who voted against the $15 minimum wage, he caucuses with the Democrats, he's worth $9.5 million. And Chris Coons, the Democrat from Delaware, is worth $10 million. And by the way, has anybody noticed that Mitch McConnell's wealth, his personal wealth, has increased by $2.5 million a year every year for the last 10 years, according to his Senate disclosure forms? How do you make $2.5 million a year on a $170,000 a year salary? I don't get it. But I think it's just shameful, frankly, that these multimillionaire senators are saying, Democrats no less, are saying, no, you work 40 hours a week, you have to continue to live in poverty. I think that's very sad. And finally, down in Florida, Ron DeSantis, he was very carefully parsing his words. This is the Tampa Bay Tribune, tampabay.com. You can read all about it. At a news conference on March 4th, DeSantis chose his words carefully. He denied that the wealthy Ocean Reef community was a state site, in other words, a state vaccination site, but did not deny that he or the Florida Division of Emergency Management, which distributes vaccines, had a role in authorizing it. And it turns out that Baptist Health, the hospital where these vaccines came from, was forced to cancel, I'm quoting from the Tampa newspapers, was forced to cancel appointments for hundreds of members of the general public who had signed up to get a vaccination because they ran out of supply. Why did they run out of supply? Because they were vaccinating millionaires and multimillionaires in this exclusive high-end community who were big donors to Ron DeSantis. The plot thickens, and the Tampa Bay Times is all over it.